Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Google Pixel 9 and compare it against the Galaxy S24 Plus and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, these two phones are very different than one another because the Google Pixel 9 is one of those phones that's a stock Android phone at around $800. The Galaxy S24 Plus is slightly more expensive in the brand new market, but it's slightly cheaper in the used market and supposed to be, I guess, a more of a competitor against maybe like the Pixel 9 Pro in a way. So let's go and see how both these phones kind of compare. If you want to pick up either one of these phones though, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. So starting off with the outside of both these phones, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on the front of this phone is giving you a massive 6.7-inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. And the thing with this panel, I like this panel. I think it's a really decent panel for what you're getting. It's 120 Hz, very smooth, basically no bezel on either one of these phones. There's a little bit, but there's like not that much. And they're very good devices, and that's something that I love a lot about these types of phones because they look so good, they feel so good, and these types of panels, they're just going to hold up so well over a long duration of time, and that is something that's actually very nice. So with something like the Pixel, with something like the Galaxy S24 Plus, it's a very good phone. I like it a lot, and definitely when it comes down to that screen perspective, it is a very solid screen when it comes down to it. On the Google Pixel 9, this is another phone that's a little bit smaller. So it's 6.3 inches on the front. It's a 6.3 inch OLED display, 120 Hz here, and overall, it's still a really good looking panel nonetheless. If you're going to go through and pick up a phone, this is one of those types of phones that hold up very well, I would say, from that performance perspective or from the screen perspective as well. So I think the screen on the Pixel 9 looks great, 120 Hz. You do get a slightly brighter display on the Pixel 9, where it's 2700 nits of brightness versus 2600 on the Galaxy S24 Plus. So that is just one thing to keep in mind there too, but other than that, I think the Pixel 9 is a good display, but maybe the S24 Plus might be the better display here and there. On top of that, USB Type-C ports on the bottom. Both are practically like flat sides, so it's nice to have like flat sides on both these phones. So I think this in and of itself is a very nice thing going on for these two phones as well. And then also on the back side, this is a slight difference here as well. So between both with the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, this is a frosted glass back. So this is something that I like a lot on this type of phone, that it's frosted and it feels very good. Whereas on the Google Pixel 9, this is a standard glass back. So there's slight differences here for the most part. Like if you're going to go down the road of the Galaxy S24 Plus, this is going to be a phone I think that might perform a little bit better from that, performance perspective, at least on the backside. This is because it feels so much more premium. But the Google Pixel 9 is still very good as well. Both are giving you reverse wireless charging. The Pixel 9 is giving you a dual camera setup, Galaxy S24 Plus triple camera setup. You're still maintaining things like wireless charging and reverse wireless charging on both as well. So both these phones, I think from that perspective, still hold up very well when it comes down to it. If you are going to go and buy a phone, this is a very solid device because they both hold up so well when it comes down to it. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now on top of that, when it comes down to some other things, when you're going to go through and buy either one of these phones, the price tag is a big thing. The S24 Plus is around, like I said, less than $600 in the used market. The Pixel 9 is around $800. It just came out, but it's probably going to go down to maybe like $700 next month and then $600, $400 pretty fast. So as of right now, the S24 Plus is probably the cheaper one when it comes down to it from that price tag standpoint in the used market, more so than the Google Pixel 9. So once again, if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, just kind of keep that in mind when it kind of comes down to it. So from that side, and that kind of covers it up there as well. Now on top of that, when it comes down to the camera side of things, the Galaxy S24 Plus is going to be giving you a triple camera setup, 50 megapixel wide, 10 megapixel telephoto, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. Whereas on the Pixel 9, you're getting a 50 megapixel wide and then a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now I like both these phones a lot, right? Both these cameras and both these types of devices are very good. And if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, I like these devices because of those things. With the Pixel 9, like I said before, this is a very good, phone. This is a very good camera. And, having 4K 60 on the front and the back, I think is a very nice thing to have. Like if you're going to go through and pick up one of these types of phones, I think they hold up very well, and I think it's a really nice thing. Now on the Galaxy S24 Plus, this is one of those types of devices that I look at, and I also love these types of phones, right? The Galaxy S24 Plus camera, 8K capability on the back, 4K at 60 on the front. This is one of those phones that I literally love so much, and I think they're very good types of, phones. I think they hold up very well from that perspective. And I definitely would tell you, if you're going to pick up a camera, the Galaxy S24 Plus is a significantly better camera than something like the Google Pixel 9. in almost every single way you can imagine, that is basically what I'm going to be taking a look at here, is that the Pixel 9's camera is good, but the S24 Plus's camera is probably the one that's kind of the better one in almost every single way you can imagine. So from that side, I think that kind of covers it up there as well. Now from the software side of things, with something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and with the Pixel 9, both these phones are pretty much going to be lasting for many years to come, right? So both these phones are going to be lasting for a long amount of time, which I think is something that's very cool. Like being able to go through and buy one of these types of phones, I think it's a very nice thing being able to go through and pick up one of these types of devices. I do think with the Pixel 9, this might be the phone that lasts a little bit longer here and there, but I would probably say from a software perspective, from a performance perspective, those types of things, I feel like with a device like the Pixel 9, you could be getting a really good experience with that type of phone, and I do think that's a really nice thing going on for these types of devices. So I would probably err to the side of the Pixel 9 probably lasting longer, but it's going to be so close that it really isn't even that big of a difference here, and that's kind of what ends up happening when you're going through and picking up these types of devices. So from that side, I think that kind of covers it up there as well. Now from the performance side, you're going to be getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset inside of the Galaxy S24 Plus with 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is crazy. Whereas on the Google Pixel 9, you're going to be getting the Google Tensor G4 chipset inside with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So this in and of itself, once again, is another very big thing to keep in mind here too. Because I feel like, first of all, both these phones are doing really good. They do really, really good in terms of basically everything you'd ever do with them. But I do think there's a slight difference here from the performance. I've always felt like with something like the Google Pixel 9, these Tensor chipsets, they're very good. They have a lot of capability and stuff, but they're not like the best. Like they're good, devices, don't get me wrong. But I feel like the Tensor chipsets are a little weaker than the Snapdragon chipsets. And so when I'm looking at something like the, Snapdragon chipset, I feel like that might be the overall better experience than something like the Tensor chipset. So I feel like from the performance of both of these, you're probably going to be getting an overall better experience inside of something like the, Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus over something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. So over something like the Google Pixel 9. So that's kind of how I see it from the performance perspective. I think the Pixel 9 is still a very good device no matter what you really do at it. But that is one of those things that I kind of noticed there as well. And because the S24 Plus is a bigger size phone, you are also getting a bigger size battery inside of it as well. So that is just one of those things to kind of keep in mind there too. So overall, to kind of sum it up, what I would definitely tell you is I like both these phones, right? I think both these phones are really, really good. But if I'm going to go through and pick up a phone, it's probably going to be a device like the, Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. I feel like that is probably the phone that might be giving you the overall better experience than something like the Google Pixel 9. And I feel like if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that is the one that might make more sense to go and buy than something like the, Pixel 9. But I think the Pixel 9 is a good phone. But I think once this one goes down in value a little bit more, then it might make a little bit more sense. But that's kind of how I see it. I think the Pixel 9 is a tremendous phone. But from a price tag standpoint, it's kind of favoring something like the Galaxy S24 Plus rather than something like the Pixel 9. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that means so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.